biblical.
These are the times of our lives.
All right, friends, neighbors, hallucinating robots of the future. Welcome to Bingo is Life. Hey! The post-bingo podcast joined in this strange configuration today. To my left, Chris Hoddyshaw, and to my right, Mike Hoddyshaw.
Hello.
The one and only, well, the two and only brothers and hosts. All right, moving on. We have Mom Shackles all the way from the other side of Court Square. And in the silent Dave and Aaron chair, we have a special guest coming up.
That's right, coming up.
Not a 65-year-old man. And I, of course, am the assistant lead custodian, Jay Zare.
Hey, Jay.
Hey, welcome, Jay.
Hey, I should say, what's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Well, from Dan here says, sends his love. From the depths of the Byzantine storerooms of Kmart, Dan Easley sends his regards and asks, what's happening?
Yeah, thanks, Dan.
He had to do inventory tonight.
Restocking the shelves.
Those blue lights don't change themselves.
Who's going to tell him Kmart's went out of business?
He still works there.
It's like that mall in Delaware where they still have the Burger King from 1984 behind a secret wall.
Nice. I think I've seen that. Didn't people lived in that mall for years without being found out?
I used to work in that mall, at the pet store in that mall.
What?
Yeah,
When it was
the Concord Mall in Wilmington, Delaware.
when the lights were on or when the lights were off?
I don't know. It was a long time ago.
Wow. I didn't know that existed.
All right, so I hear you missed giving away the $150 by two pins.
Yeah, there was $150 on the table tonight, and it
was good.
2 pins.
And I think I would have given that fellow the...
So close.
He was a fairly robust-looking gentleman.
He
Yeah.
had a
yeah.
fantastic mustache.
Yeah,
Listeners,
he did.
you missed out because we can't really send you a picture of the mustache.
I'm surprised the 2 pins didn't fall out of respect for his mustache.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
congratulations! Before we get any further, congratulations to Mom Shackles and both of you on a very successful Day of the Arts,
Oh, the
Saturday,
Day of the Arts,
May
yeah.
4th.
Aw.
My wife
Thank
wanted
you.
me to point out that we never clearly mentioned that you were the Dr. Howe and the Reasons to Live,
Oh,
the
yes.
band that was performing, and
Yes.
that was a tremendous show.
Surprise! That's us.
Yeah, we did it. Hey, you know what? It was so much fun, and
It
the
was
crowd was
beautiful.
amazing, and the theater was perfect. I mean,
Yeah.
I could not have had a better time.
It was such a good vibe.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
everyone. It was just such a good vibe. You all bring joy everywhere you go.
Oh,
and
thanks.
Just getting to behold you.
Oh, hush. Hey, well, that joy, you can find that exact same joy May the 18th.
That's right.
At, what's it called?
White Oak Lavender Farm.
That's right. We're going to be playing there for another free show.
Yeah.
And basically, it costs nothing to ever see us. That's how we roll.
Take no
Come
chances.
roll in the
Yeah.
parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
Yeah, there it
Dr.
is.
Howe
Well, they
and
have
Lavender
a
Farm.
petting zoo there as well. Small animal petting zoo.
Oh my God.
Bring your kids. They have music all day. There's music in the morning, and then we play from 5 until 8 in the evening. And then they have a food truck as well.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
That's exciting. What time does that start?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, White Oak Lavender Farm on May the 18th. Is that what you said?
Yeah, May 18th.
May 18th.
Yep.
Okay. Speaking of herbs, are we
Herbs.
ready to change gears?
Yeah, let's do it.
We have an exceptional guest with us today. A person that likes to get their hands dirty, knows a lot about plants, plant matters,
interesting.
and is also the brother of a dear friend of pretty much everyone here tonight. I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
Drew Johnson, shout out to you.
No.
We
Yeah,
miss you. We
shout
miss
out
you,
to Drew.
Drew.
It's my oldest brother.
Yep.
Holy smokes!
So there's our in.
There's 9 of us.
There it is.
Big family.
One of your siblings was in a play I directed a long time ago.
It's my sister,
I had to have been.
Piper. Was she pretty young?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. With Miss Womack.
This
Yes,
family
yes.
has
Yeah,
the
yeah.
best names.
Hold on. So,
There's a bunch of us, yeah.
you still haven't said his name, though, right?
Did I not say
No,
his name?
uh-uh.
Oh
No.
boy,
Yeah.
here we go. Check this awesome name out. Abner Johnson.
Yay! Welcome aboard.
Come on. Thanks for being here, man.
appreciate it.
So, give us, outside of being the brother of Drew, which many people will probably know you as, what's your story? I'm holding a beverage here that you brought for us. What is this?
Abner brought us some treats, some nice cold treats.
Yes,
with-
it's a CBD seltzer. No sugar, no calories, natural flavoring.
All right, I'm doing it.
Okay.
All right.
We threw a little bit of
Here we
go.
electrolytes in it, in addition to the CBD.
We're going to put some sound effect on this real quick.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lemon,
Ooh.
lime, mango, pineapple,
It's
cranberry.
Oh, man.
5 o'clock somewhere.
This is crisp and refreshing.
It's canned over at Brothers Craft Brewing.
No
We're
way.
partnered up with them.
Town.
Yep, they do
Oh,
it
that's
for us.
awesome.
We're getting ready to release a couple of other beverages, so definitely stay tuned for those.
This is
Well,
great.
I'm thinking there has to be a market for non-alcoholic or quasi-alcoholic
Yeah,
beverages
absolutely.
at the breweries, because sometimes your only option is like Diet Coke or something stupid.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we've been getting into a lot of breweries lately and restaurants as well, and they've all seemed to be doing pretty well reordering.
What? The mango pineapple is banging
It
good.
is banging good.
All right, so CBD 30 mg.
30 milligrams, yep.
So-
it's a pretty standard dose, anywhere 15 to 30 milligrams. The effects you'd get is slight relaxing effect. The best part about CBD is it's a natural anti-inflammatory.
Ah.
I have back pain right now. Quick.
Quick guzzle.
Chug it.
Nice. So they all say Hydrate on them. They have a nice, it's a 16-ounce can, which is a good size just to chill with. This is a nice, it's May, guys.
Yeah.
This is a nice summer treat. So,
So my question is, how did you get into this business?
So one of my brothers, Jacob, he studied at JMU, and a part of his capstone was to do some type of marketing internship, which led him out to Portland, Oregon.
Ah,
And he helped
They all
out with
do,
a
don't
ski
they?
and snowboard shop.
cool.
But just naturally, this was back in 2015, somewhere around there, and marijuana was becoming legalized.
Mm-hmm.
In Colorado, Oregon, California. So he had some friends that were growing. He got involved with it. I visited him and kind of fell in love with the plant, learned more about its uses, and that's just it just goes from there. And CBD it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, I'm glad to be able to grow it and do that.
Now, are you involved in growing in the area?
Yes, absolutely. We grow a lot of hemp for many uses as well. And maybe I should step back for a second. People get kind of confused with marijuana, hemp, what it is.
Yeah, right.
So one way I like to describe it is like, let's just talk about dogs for a second. How many different types of dogs are there?
Yep.
There's Chihuahuas, Golden Retrievers.
I
all
have a
these-
golden retriever.
They're all dogs, right?
Yes.
Lhasa
So-
Apsos.
Think of hemp and marijuana as a Golden Retriever and a Chihuahua. They're all a part of the cannabis family, and you can grow the cannabis plant for very many different things. If you grow it specifically for the flower, which is a type of variety, that's where you get CBD, THC. That's where those compounds are produced. Then you can also grow it for the stalk, that's where the name hemp comes from. They call it hemp
right.
cannabis grown for just mainly the stalk or the seed. And we do a lot of all of those things. The last part is the seed. The seed's a high source of protein. There's a bunch of amino acids in it that are uncommon in other types of seeds. So very fascinating plant. The more I learn about it, it seems like God blessed us with it for a reason. So we're here to
Now, why
reap what we sow.
most of my research on this subject occurred in the 1970s, but I did have about a half an acre, and at one point I was looking into growing hemp back there. I might have talked to you or somebody. Anyway, long story short, I wound up on a discussion, some various discussion groups, and it's tricky to get at the CBD level below
Really high. The
three-
CBD level high with the THC levels low.
Right.
Yes.
So
That is
is three the upper?
0.3% THC. Yes.
So if you screw up on that, then you've grown a crop that's not viable.
now all of a sudden it becomes marijuana.
Okay, yeah.
And
Well,
that's a federally controlled substance.
Right,
So
right.
It's where it gets like I have to get my fingerprints done every year to grow it. It's quite the process, and there's still a lot of misunderstanding. So
When
Yeah.
how big is your crop? Like, do you have an acre?
great
or-
question. So when you grow for CBD or even THC, that they look very, very similar. Indistinguishable. You have to send it to a lab to really know. Or the joke is, you could just smoke it and then you'd be able to tell pretty easily. CBD is non-psychoactive, so it's easy to tell. But growing for CBD or THC, you can imagine a vineyard. It's very spaced out into rows. You typically irrigate it. A lot of labor with your hands compared to growing for the industrial uses, the stalk. That's much more like a row crop, like wheat, corn, soy, you use big pieces of
Okay.
equipment. So to summarize the question, we grow a couple acres, 2 to 5 acres for CBD, and another compound called CBG. I don't know if I'll get into it, but
Yeah. But
And then-
is this, so it says in the Shenandoah Valley.
yeah. So we grow it in the Shenandoah Valley, all throughout. A lot of our acres come from growing for the industrial side. So we actually got a contract with the Air Force last year to study manufacturing hempcrete blocks.
I just saw a thing about
it's
them.
a very
They put a
Hempcrete.
fire. They put a torch up to one. And they're like, it doesn't burn.
Yeah, exactly. There's,
mean-
there's lime in it.
Yeah.
And water, and the inside of the stalk called the hurd. You mix that up, and you get this awesome. It's a little bit misleading because it's like hempcrete.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it's more of an insulating component. It doesn't actually replace. It's not structural.
Yeah, yeah.
typically. So it's more of an insulating. It
Yeah,
reduces. You
insulating.
can remove your fiberglass insulation as well as your drywall and a couple of other building materials. And the main benefit is does good against mold. There's no toxins. I don't know if you guys have seen drywall get wet, but it molds out really quickly and it's terrible
yeah.
for you.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have this product available now, or is it in the future?
yeah, very, very soon. Yep. So everything that generates revenue right now is from these CBD products.
Ah, right.
And it's
so you make the gummies too?
yep,
and-
gummies, oils, topicals, these beverages. And that's what our 2 to 5 acres of CBD go to. So
Yeah,
it
do you
doesn't take a lot.
Do you have other farmers growing a product for you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we work with, if they have equipment, if they have land, if they have labor, we kind of just work with everybody to grow as much as we can.
Does it grow well in this area?
It does.
This is good.
It does, yeah. We've been experimenting with different genetics. We grow a French variety because we share a similar latitude as them. So to back up a teeny bit, 2014 and 2018, that's when hemp was kind of legalized and amended. And because it's kind of recent, there's no domestic source. We're in like a farming area. We have
Right,
corn
right.
specifically for the Shenandoah Valley compared to, you go up to Pennsylvania, down to South Carolina, the amount of sunlight you get changes pretty drastically.
Right.
And cannabis is very photosensitive, so it can flower really easily if you don't have the right genetics and stuff.
So South Carolina's hotbed for.
It could be difficult. We're
Yeah.
experimenting with some genetics down there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but the genetics typically don't travel south very easily.
Interesting.
So
See, we're learning here. That's
Well,
the
no,
thing.
It's fascinating.
how things have changed. And I
Yeah.
bet you can remember this. So I am 44 years old.
Yeah.
And when I was a kid, it was a big deal that the government would go fly in an airplane over
Yeah.
cornfields.
Yeah, looking
Because
for
farmers
it.
would be
Yeah.
like, they would grow a couple rows
Yeah.
of pot.
Yeah.
And they would fly over and they would be like, they would burn them or they
Yeah,
would do
yeah.
different
They used to
things.
fly helicopters into the little mix up there in Kieseltown.
Yep,
I know I had a guy who was growing one little plant in a
I got it for one
In a
plant.
5-gallon
No,
bucket.
they didn't.
Oh, okay.
They didn't get him. But they flew the helicopter right down into the clearing where his house was up there in Kieseltown, and we're looking around, and that was 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, so it wasn't that long ago that's where we were.
Right.
And then now things have.
well, and there,
drastically-
wasn't there the legal group Normal?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah,
Is that
they're
it?
still in
Normal?
existence.
They're still in existence.
Yeah, I think Jeff Moe and Smiley are the
Nice.
2 people that are still members.
Okay, cool.
No, that's not true.
Do you,
I'm sure there are at
Abner,
least
do
3.
you know anything about the recent announcement from the Biden administration about the
Rescheduling, yeah.
Rescheduling. Not a whole lot. There's definitely a lot of pros and cons. I don't know which one I should talk about more.
That wouldn't affect your business one way or the other, right?
Anytime it's becoming quote unquote more illegal, it's good for us.
Right.
Sure.
Like we have high schools, colleges, all types of universities doing research with us, and sometimes it gets halted because it's related to cannabis.
Yeah.
Right.
So anytime this happens, it's good. But at the same time, they're trying to now kind of make it more of a pharmaceutical,
Yeah.
which we got to be careful for, because the pharmaceutical industry is pretty big and they have a lot of money. We always joke they probably spend more on cleaning supplies than we do in a whole year, so they can lobby very hard against products and things
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
It will be interesting to see how it works out. I understand there's some like tax implications for farmers, for growers, for people who are trying to do things that allow them to save some money on their operation where they can't right now. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes.
Now tell me about you have a retail operation in Elkton, is that correct?
Yes. So it's connected to our manufacturing facility. The only product we don't manufacture in that building is the CBD beverage. Brothers Craft Brewing, they're the ones that knocked that out for us.
But you still kept it local, which is super cool.
Absolutely. They do a great job. We love Jason, Tyler, Josh, everybody over there.
So
helps out.
for those that don't know, Brothers Brew is here.
North Main Street,
North-
in
yeah,
the
North
old
Main Street.
cola bottling plant.
Right.
Yeah,
north
and it's
of
a
the
great.
Little
It's
Grill.
a
Well,
another great
the
spot.
reason I ask is
Yeah.
that I know I never made it down there, but was working with people who were doing comedy. There's some comedy shows down there.
Yeah, we have all types of events, cannabis-infused gourmet dinners, comedy events.
Awesome.
We don't call it smoke and paint. Instead, we call it canvas and cannabis.
Nice.
Because canvases technically used to be made from the stalk.
Oh,
Beautiful.
right, right.
I'm
yeah.
wearing some hemp shoes right now.
Oh man, that's
yeah,
so
a bunch
cool.
of-
It's everywhere.
What,
Yes.
I mean, they used to say, it would be actually much more environmentally friendly to produce like paper pulp from hemp than from trees. I'm sure you would agree
Yes,
with that.
I believe that is true because we don't have a domestic source of seed. There's not very many processors. We're still early in the industry.
Right.
I don't have the data to be able to make any type of claims and stuff like that.
But years ago, like in the Revolutionary War era, didn't George Washington grow
Absolutely.
hemp?
Our founding fathers grew hemp. Every colonist was required in Jamestown to grow 100 hemp plants.
Nice.
So yeah, it's a part of our American history, and they try to bury it for a while. So it's
Yeah, what
cool to
what
come
happened?
bring it back around.
Why?
Racism.
Oh,
Racism
racism.
happened. Yeah.
Dang, God.
Well, there,
Racism, pharmaceuticals,
always
tobacco,
something.
alcohol.
yeah, and the timber industry.
Yep.
You've heard that,
That's a
big
that
one, too.
rumor before.
Right.
But it's funny.
It's fascinating.
So this is a friend of mine. Now that in Virginia you can grow 2 plants.
4 plants, yeah.
Four plants.
Only 2. Well, it breaks down to 2 with 2 adults and.
The laws are so confusing.
continue your story.
I
Well-
do not envy you trying to keep up with them.
Oh, no
to keep
doubt.
This
No.
does
It
alive.
is difficult.
But my friend told me, he said, my younger self would kick myself if I didn't at least try to grow a couple plants now that we can do that.
Yeah.
So he grows these plants and he was like, look, I did it. It was successful.
I did
I
this.
have so much weed now. And I have no idea. I mean, it's just he's like just take 7 jars. It does not matter because that's the other funny thing about the legalization of pot now, that a plant can produce a ton of weed.
But you're only legally allowed to have an ounce with for when it's decriminalized.
Yeah,
right?
you can gift an ounce to somebody.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can gift an
You
ounce.
can gift
Yeah.
an ounce. I think that's as much as you're supposed to have on you at a time. But yeah, a plant can produce anywhere from half a pound
Wow.
to 3 pounds worth
Yeah.
of flour.
Last summer, this is a total segue to nothing, but I have to tell you a quick story, a quick anecdote. I was hanging out with some people of Jay's generation, who
39 years old.
Yeah, exactly.
I thought you were going to say from 1939.
No, maybe even a little bit. No, about the same age as Jay. Just a different life than Jay led, so they're aged a little bit differently. Had different experiences. So one of them turned to me and was like, just really discreetly in a group of other people who would not have wanted to know we were having this conversation, turned to me and said, "Hey, you want some dope?" He called it dope, which
Wow.
was my favorite part.
Yeah, right.
I didn't, but he said that he had grown a plant and he just had way too much of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
But dope. Yes.
Dope.
Wow.
Yeah.
The interesting thing about those laws, the last time I looked into it, 4 is what you're allowed to have, but I'm about 100% sure that it doesn't become a felony until after 49,
Exactly. Yeah.
which that's insane.
That's a solid amount. Anything over 4, you're probably doing it for
A lot of
reasons the government
Yeah,
doesn't
right.
want to
You're
know
making
about.
money. Like, do you guys remember when Dare, the Dare officer,
Oh,
would
God.
come in?
Yeah.
And then they would dump
Yeah.
the big trash bag full of pot. And you're like,
Yeah.
this is it. This is the bad stuff. Or
There was
this-
just grass clippings.
I've seen
at my
some big
school.
trash bags full of pot being dumped, but it wasn't by Dare.
I don't know. I feel like that. Maybe that wasn't.
The DARE program just updated their perspective on cannabis.
Oh, my
Oh,
They
goodness.
say it's up to every family in each state to kind
Yeah.
of deal with it how they please. So
Oh, nice.
cool to see them not be
Yeah.
anti.
I'll throw out my one annoyance I was in New York City with my family, and everybody is smoking weed on the street. I guess it must be legal. That's the only thing I can figure. So in the city, like while I was with my family, younger kids, and the lady in front of us was smoking a blunt, and it was just whoosh, the smoke coming off was right there. And we are laughing because we're like, you can't get away from it. I mean, you can't, like, I don't care that people are getting high. I do not care.
Right.
But it is weird when it's like, for so long, it's been something you do privately.
Yeah,
and it's,
right.
I'm not used to seeing it publicly.
Well, and it had its own ritual.
Yes.
Before.
Yes.
And
Go
now-
hide behind the
Your secret
bar.
cabal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Sneak out.
Not anymore.
No,
Yeah.
but
Tough.
there's also the secondhand smoke concern, like, because you are with your family in the street.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you could tell the kids to do what we learned in fire safety class, which, remember how we took fire safety class, and did we use any of that? I would have appreciated to learn how to do my taxes anyway, instead. But when there was like a fire in a house, you had to crawl out to get under the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess you could have done that.
Yeah.
Abner, what do you have? What do you have coming up for Shenandoah hemp?
We're
Pure hemp. It's pure Shenandoah.
Pure Shenandoah, yeah. Pure Shenandoah is our name. We used to be Shenandoah Valley Hemp, but we decided to rebrand Pure Shenandoah a little bit better, retail facing. Let's see, events coming up. We're going to be at Brothers May Music Festival,
Nice.
Epic Fest, which is in Elkton.
When is that?
This is May 18th, sorry.
Oh,
May 18th, a couple of events
conflicting
going on.
events.
Yeah,
Tell us about that. What is that?
The May Music Fest?
Yeah.
It's just a music festival, and I think they drop some new beers. A good amount of people come out, and we just post up with our tent. We do samples of our
Perfect.
beverage.
I've yet to get out
educate.
there. I want to get
the
out
brothers?
there.
Yeah.
No, to
to Elkton?
To Elkton, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Definitely come visit Robin Monday through Saturday.
Yeah.
Everybody at this table will get a special tour of our processing
Oh my goodness.
processing
Oh,
area.
yeah.
and everything.
Tell me.
Very
about,
cool.
Tell me about the drink. Who created the recipe for that?
So we actually partnered up with JMU at one of their business classes. They pitched this product to us, more or less, a CBD seltzer. And then, Brothers had just visited our facility, so we kind of put them on that project to come up with which flavors would be the best, what size, what price, how many milligrams, all that stuff. And then we just tweaked it with electrolytes, so it would be more hydrating than just a regular water. I'm not a
Yeah.
big, seltzer drinker.
Yeah,
It
me
feels like I'm
neither.
getting ripped off.
Did somebody sit down and did you have to try a little taste?
We did.
I got to add a little bit more.
We did, yeah. If you look at
Nothing
the
other thing?
ingredients list, there's magnesium chloride, there's L-theanine, vitamin A, a bunch of. So it's just a really good beverage to be
That's
drinking.
awesome.
in
I love all the
general. Yeah.
science involved in this.
I will.
I love it.
I'll attach some links to this show so that people can go find you. That'll be cool.
Yeah.
It's a delicious beverage. It's much better cold. So
Yeah, no, it's chilly.
Yeah.
It's chilly.
Yeah.
We had tried. I had wanted to try to get you on the week before 420, but I procrastinated too long about
It
that.
was a
that
busy-
task.
Could have been so
Yeah.
beautiful.
But but when I looked into how to contact you, the week of 420, you all had so many cool things coming up.
Yeah.
You really celebrated it, and that was super neat. I didn't go to any of them because life is crazy here
Yeah.
in the Berg, but it looked like a lot of fun. So we'll have to keep that on our
Absolutely.
radar for next year. And
Most
all your
definitely.
events sounds super fun.
we try to educate. The plant has been discriminated against and prohibited for a very long
yeah.
time. So we try to.
it's so. I mean, I remember. And now I'm going to show my age. Not as bad as you, Jay, but in the '90s, I remember people trying to it's got to be legal because you can make rope with it. And that's all we had back then. Now we got analogies with the dogs.
The dog analogies.
We got it. We're drinking. It's awesome.
Well, this is
It's
this is
interesting how
really-
far it's come along.
This is a delicious drink.
Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
awesome.
Thank you.
But I guess my question is, so if you was to have a beer, I kind of know how I feel after a beer.
Right.
Is that kind of how I would feel high after
From that?
this?
So
I'm not sure.
CBD, it's non-psychoactive, so
Yeah.
you don't get
Yeah.
a high effect, but it does have a relaxing. If you take enough of it, you can feel a calming effect.
Okay.
For sure.
Yeah, a lot of people take it to sleep.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's fine.
But so THC, we're working on a 2 milligram THC beverage. So the
Right.
state of Virginia kind of limits us That's what clouds the water, and everyone's like, "Wait, what's marijuana? What's hemp?"
Yeah, right.
It seems like
Yeah.
they cross the line so often.
Well, I'm glad there are people like you out there navigating through this. That's awesome.
Man, no doubt
Thank you.
about it.
Thank
Super
you.
fun anytime I find. I'm like, oh, they make that now, and yeah, the flavors. Are these the 3 flavors, or do you have?
Yep,
okay.
those are the 3 flavors.
So they have lemon lime, they have mango pineapple, and cran raspberry. If
I
you're
mean,
like a
it's
flavor
awesome.
junkie,
It is
Yeah,
delicious.
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
try them all.
Yep.
Okay, we're going to start wrapping things up. Before we go, Giant of Galway, one-night
Yeah.
performance, stage reading at the Golden Pony tomorrow night. And,
Ooh,
and then
nice.
there's going to be encore performances
A private?
of private Thursday night
Sweet.
at the Little Grill. If you're listening in real time, Abner Johnson, thank you so much for coming down.
Yes, thank
Thanks
you.
for having me.
And,
Yeah.
thanks everyone again out there in listener land. Brittany,
land.
Yeah,
Mom
hey.
Jackals, take us out.
Okay, I want to say again, good night, Drew Johnson, because I hope you listen because your brother's on, and good night, Grayson.
Yes.
Was also at the Day of the Arts on Saturday. It was good
yeah.
to see him.
Oh,
So
good.
yes,
Yeah.
thank you for listening to Bingo is Life. Jay told me to do this. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing.
See you
Thank
next
you,
week.
Ruby's Arcade and the glorious Wine Brothers building in downtown Harrisonburg, Virginia.
Thank you, Rubies.
Yes, thanks, Ruby's.
See you next week, kids.
Good night.
Thanks.
Bingo is Life, a post-bingo Harrisonburg podcast, is brought to you by the Brothers How to Show and our friends at Ruby's Arcade in downtown Harrisonburg, Virginia. If you've enjoyed the show and feel it's worth spreading a little joy in this world, please tell just one person that you like this podcast. Word of mouth, more than any other form of promotion, is how creative works get noticed and sustain themselves. Thank you, Andrew Hickey, for that bit of wisdom, and thank you, listeners, for being part of the fun.
And here's a bonus for everyone who didn't turn off their podcasting device quickly enough. A very short song from an artificial intelligence program, a new one called Suno.com. Enjoy.
Sitting round the table with our friends so true, talking about the podcast that we all love to do. Bingo ain't just a game, it's a way of life. Spinning them numbers, bringing joy and no strife. Rolling up our sleeves, grabbing a lucky charm, microphones in hand, bringing our southern charm, talking about the stories, the laughs, and the fun. Bingo is life, and it's just begun. From small towns to big cities, we spread the word around. Podcasting about bingo keeps our feet on the ground. With every episode, we share the tales we found. Bingo is life, and we keep it renowned. Oh, so we share the tales we found. Bingo is life.